Hello everyone, welcome to Azure DevOps Learning Hub. In today's video, we are going to understand Terraform state files. This is one of the most important Terraform concepts and a very common DevOps interview question. So we are going to cover today what is Terraform state file, why it is important, local versus remote states, what is state locking, and few of the interview questions. So without wasting much time, let's go ahead and start. So the first important thing is to understand what is actually a Terraform state file. So Terraform uses a state file to keep the track of its infrastructure that it is managing. So whenever a Terraform create resources such as virtual machines, storage accounts, virtual networks, or Kubernetes clusters, it stores the information about those resources in this file that is called as a Terraform state file, and the general file name is terraform.tf_state. So think of it like a Terraform database. So without the state file, we would not know which resources it has created and what is their current configuration and what changes that we have to apply. So understanding the state file is like it is storing the information about the infrastructure management done by Terraform, and it acts like a Terraform database, and its default file name is terraform.tf_state. Okay, now we'll go to why it is so important. So why is the Terraform state so much important? The importance is because the state file helps Terraform compare. So what it compares is the current infrastructure that is there versus the desired infrastructure that we supposed to create. So whenever we run Terraform plan, Terraform plan command, in that time the Terraform will check the state file and identify what needs to change. So it will go to the state file, it will check what is the current infrastructure, and then it will identify what exactly is going to get changed. And what we have the benefits of this is that we can track resources, we can improve performance, we can enable change planning and maintain the infrastructure consistently. And without the state file, Terraform would have to inspect every resource every time. So the importance of state file is that it is used to track resources created by Terraform. It would help Terraform to plan and compare what are the current and the desired states, and hence it will improve the consistency and performance overall. Now we come to the states after we understand what is the local state and what is a remote state. So by default, Terraform stores the state locally. Locally means it will not that this is like terraform.tf state. It should be somewhere in your project directory. So what happens is whenever we store it on a local machine, it will become easy for learning, but we do not do it practically. We generally go for remote state. That is, we go for Azure storage or AWS or Terraform cloud, and the reason for this is to avoid some issues that would occur, which we will discuss further. So we have local state storage, we have remote state storage. Local state is it can be stored in local machine, easy for learning, and remote state is it needs to be stored in the Azure storage or AWS S3 Terraform cloud, and better for team security and collaboration. Okay, now there are benefits. If you're storing it in the project directory, it is easy to set up, it is good for learning. Disadvantages: now if you're storing it locally, and there would be disadvantage like it would not be secure, and it would be a little difficult for teams, and there would be a risk of deletion, like accidental deletion. In remote state, what happens, that is in real time projects which we prefer. So in remote states, that is in real projects, we store state remotely in the common backends. Azure storage account, AWS S3, Terraform Cloud. So we generally store it in the backend, and the advantages is like we get shared across teams, more security support, state locking feature, and it is better for production. So since we have come across state locking, we'll understand what exactly is state locking. Just imagine we have two engineers running Terraform apply at the same time. Both will have different changes. So this can definitely corrupt the state file. Now, state locking prevents multiple users from modifying the state simultaneously. So when two developers are working together, if there is a state locking feature, it will avoid modifying the state simultaneously. So when one user will run Terraform apply, Terraform will lock the state. So the other user will have to wait until the first user is completing the operation. And for Azure backend, state locking is supported through Azure storage, and the benefits it's like prevents corruption, avoids conflict, improves reliability. So that's why it's important in the team's environment. So we have some common questions, interview questions around it, like what is Terraform state file? What is the default state file name? Why we use remote state, and what is state locking? Can we manually edit the state files? So that was all about it. So if you like it, you can share and subscribe. And thank you for watching Azure DevOps Learning Hub. Bye for now.